Hi there. I just want to say, before I introduce myself, kudos to you. I know that this took a lot of courage and bravery to actually click on the link that's associated with this video, because whoever sent this to you genuinely cares. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because they either know me, they've either worked with me as a client, or they've heard about me from some of the social circles and the social media platforms that I am constantly speaking on and a part of. So that took guts. So congratulations. My name is Tammeron, and I empower people to beat the blues and to bounce back from an act of betrayal, whether that was in their personal life or even in their business. And I use a new age spiritual process to help my clients and people just like you recover. Because I'm here to remind you that for every single person, this journey that you're on is unique and it's individual. So there's no like blanket as to, yeah, you just got to do this, you just got to do that, or just get over it, or to even find yourself alone and misunderstood in the people around you, because that's a lonely feeling. And I know what that is like too, because many years ago, in fact, over 20 years ago, I was dealing with a massive level of betrayal in my own life. And you know what? Every time I tried to talk about what I was going through and what I was feeling, I was like rejected by people. And it wasn't that the people around me didn't care, my friends and family didn't care, but they couldn't relate to what I was saying. It's because they hadn't dealt with it. And so that was like another layer of just feeling so lonely. And for me, I started getting more depressed. And in a short time later, I was actually suicidal. It's true. I was literally planning how to check out, and I had to talk myself out of it because I had to think ahead. Well, if I did that, then what would happen? What would happen to my kids? It was like, I was like, no, that's not the answer. So I made a vow to myself that day to really figure out a way to help myself. All right. So it was a dark and heavy time. And if you're dealing with an act of betrayal in your life, I don't know where you're at in your head. I don't know what it is that you're feeling. But I want to say that whatever it is that you're feeling, whether it's anger, right, or guilt, or even feeling shame, because that's what I was feeling too. I was like, I don't want anybody to know what it is I'm going through. And yet everybody knew. I was on public display because I lived in a small community, right? So it wasn't fun hanging out in town anymore. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is because I'm going to encourage you to give your feelings a voice and to say, yeah, okay, this is bubbling up for me. But in my journey, what I did is I went to school and I started learning how to be a practitioner in a lot of different modalities, where I found ways to really manage what it was I'm feeling. So if something came up that was negative, it was like, oh, okay, now I have some tools and things I can use to help me get out of my funk, right? Because let's face it, in life, it's not a straight happy line all the time. We have ups and downs of when things happen. And now in this new age world that we're in, this era of the age of Aquarius, we're more open to using modalities that are very different from our parents' generation or even part of our generation. Like, I'm 59 years old, whether you believe it or not. 59. And you know what? I don't look my age and I don't act it. And the reason why I believe that is true is because at that time when I wasn't feeling well and going through all of this stuff that was happening in my life, I did what my parents' generation did. I did what everybody did. I went to my family doctor, and I walked out of there with a prescription for meds and a name of a free family counselor in my local community, right? So right off the bat, I started taking the meds, and you know what? I had a severe reaction because my doctor was seeing me more frequently, and I was dealing with some other physical symptoms, and everything she gave me for that, I was allergic to. And then the meds for the depression, I had a reaction to, so I had to throw them in the garbage after just one dose. And I went, okay, that's obviously not going to work for me. And then when I went to the free family counselor, you know what? I wasn't getting the results. In fact, I just felt like I was spinning my wheels. I couldn't connect with this counselor. So literally, I had to take my power back. I had to take my life in my own hands. And you know what happened? When I made that vow to myself, it was like, boom, people just started showing up in my life because I made that choice. And I said, you know what? I'm on a different path here. Something was telling me my life is different now. And luckily, I did some research. I found another local counselor who worked out of her home, right? No one knew I was going there. And within 10 minutes, believe it or not, that woman knew exactly what I was dealing with. Like I was sitting there like, what? I mean, I'd been spinning my wheels for months with a different counselor. So she gave me homework and she gave me stuff that I had to do to really work on myself and to really start cleaning up the crap and to start dealing with what it was that I was feeling. And one of the best things she ever did, actually, was she had me start reading. And I went to chapters. She gave me 2 books. And I went and bought those books. And literally, I'm flipping the pages. And there I was thinking, my situation was so unique. And I was like, what? My life is in a book. My life was in a book. And millions of other people had gone through the same thing. Can you imagine that? So if you're feeling alone and if you're feeling like nobody gets you, I bet you I will get you. I bet you I will understand exactly where you're at right now. So that was really powerful. And the reason why I share that with you is because no one should go through an act of betrayal and try to recover on their own, especially if they feel alone. You need to be around someone who knows what it is and how that journey is different and unique to you. And that's why I love to empower people now, because we're talking over 20 years later. So I have multiple certifications. I love to talk about astrology. And for many of my clients, they walk away feeling enlightened. It's like, whoa, this was part of something big. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what I realized for me was that patterns of things kept showing up in my life where I'd feel like a victim. And then once I went through it, it was like, wow, I got my power back. And then people would look at me and go, I want to be like her. How did she overcome that? And to be honest, I overcame it, but using the natural solutions and some of these tools that are so simple, it freaks people out. I'm going to say it again. They're so simple and they're powerful, right? Because it doesn't involve numbing your senses. It doesn't involve numbing what you're feeling. I encourage you to feel what you want to feel. And I'm going to help you find a way to process what it is you're feeling so you get it out of your body, right? You get it out. In fact, for me, my real therapy was in the boxing gym. That's no joke. I'm a woman. I was in my 40s and I went in there and hit those bags for 5 years, 3 mornings a week to get that anger out of my body, because it was a long process for me to get out of that toxic relationship that I was in. And so luckily there was a gym nearby, a boxing gym, and it was just like, woo, just the rage that came in, but it felt so good afterwards. It was just like my body was on fire, but I was still using some other modalities too to really work through it. So if anything I've said in this video relates to what you are going through, anything at all, feel free to connect with me by email. I'm not going to send you any other links. I want you to take that next step as part of your homework for your recovery process now, is to just email me and I'll email you back. And if you have any questions about anything at all, or if you really just want to go ahead and book the next step, which is going to be a free consultation call with me, I will provide that link for you, because I don't just give it out to anybody, right? Because I only work in small groups up to a maximum of 5 people and one-on-one. That's it, because it's intense work and I'm here for you. I'm here for people like you. All right. I also have an online educational academy as well, so I can share information with that with you later if you're interested. And that's where I talk about how to educate yourself about a lot of these tools and holistic modalities that you can just follow me along and I'll be your guide. So there's lots of ways that I can support you. So again, I don't want to keep this video very long. And if you want to take the next step, I look forward to meeting you. And either way, whatever it is that you decide, go back to the person that sent you this video and just say, hey, thanks, man. Right? Just say thanks because someone cares. Someone cares enough about you to make sure that you get through this big challenge that you're facing in your life right now. So cheers for now. Bye-bye.